Okay. Here we are again. Let's see here. Is this okay? It's a little bit dark. Actually, I can try to cover the light behind me a little bit. Should have done this before I started, but there we go. Maybe that helped a little bit, maybe not. Uh, you know what? Yeah, okay. We'll just leave it like that. Really professional. Yeah, so this channel is really not the channel where I put my best content. As you may have discovered, it's become a live stream channel. But you know what? When I started this channel, I thought, I'll do outdoor stuff here, gear reviews and so on and so on. That's a long time ago now. Well, feels like a long time, but apparently, as you know, I have this channel is a live stream channel where we talk about different stuff. So yeah, the outdoors. Let's get straight to the topic here. I have several topics for this live stream actually. Now, if you really want me to see your comment, you can give me a super chat. That makes your comment pop up, so I will certainly see it. Yeah, so the outdoors is important to me. And on my main channel, I'm doing I'm going back to more outdoor stuff on my main channel. And there's a reason for that. And I've touched upon this topic before. Now, we have been through 2 years of insanity. And I don't want to be that guy who sits there pretending to know everything about what's going on in the world, safely sitting there behind his keyboard or smartphone. Now, I don't even have a smartphone, as you know, and pretending to be an expert while every time arriving at the conclusion that you really need to prepare because the world is going to the world is ending and all that. Now, we all need to prepare. It's just wise to do that. But that doom and gloom approach to life, that's not me. Never has been. And if you look at my videos during the last 2 years, and I was accused of someone wrote, it's good that you're not doing these doom and gloom videos anymore. And I replied to that comment actually, and I said, I never have. But you get associated with people who do that. And that's not nice, you know. So the outdoors is important to me. And if you go to my main channel and look at the videos that I have previously made, most of them are outdoors videos. And if you look at the trailer, you can clearly see that it's an outdoors channel. So it shouldn't come as a surprise to people, but you know how it is. People don't really take the trouble of checking out those things. Yeah, so the outdoors is important to me. And first and foremost, YouTube is not my job. I am a novelist, and that means that I don't have to chase the views like a lot of other people on YouTube are doing. I like high views on my videos, of course, but have to, I don't need the views to be on YouTube. I don't do this for a living. And I hope that that adds to the integrity of what I'm doing. So, and I have to also say another thing. I wrote in the title, and then now I realize I can't pronounce it in English. Evangelists, evangelists. No, I can't say it. I will say Christian people. When I say that, I'm not talking about Christian people in general, of course not. But there are people who are subscribing. Well, there are Christian people out there who really want me to become a Christian. So they will do things like subscribe to newsletters for me. Well, it's only one, or actually at this point, only one or two of these end of time newspapers or letters that I get every month or so. And you know, at first I thought it was a bit funny, but now it's a bit of a nuisance actually. So if anyone are listening, anyone who is doing that is listening to this, please stop. It's not okay. You wouldn't like it, would you, if I subscribed in your name, your address to some I don't know, us heathens. We don't do that, we don't push our belief system onto other people. So so it's not nice, it's not nice to do that. And there are people paying. I have a Patreon, and that's you pay to be a patron, and there have been occasions where people have paid just to send me a message about why I should be a Christian and what will happen to me because I'm not. It's not so nice, you need to stop doing that. So now lighten up. I don't know what you mean there, Nicholas. I can't really. Oh, here we are again. So I can't do much about the light right where I'm sitting. It is what it is. So it's a bit silly, it's a bit disrespectful. I won't sink to that level myself, you know. I will I will keep being I will be the adult one here, okay? So these very emotional people, I think they are very emotional. They will keep doing that, and but I wish they stopped. I wish they stopped. And I think the word is, of course, as I said, it's not Christians, because I have nothing against people being Christians, but as I wrote in the title, evangelists, isn't that what they call it? Evangelists? I think that's the word. It's a bit difficult to pronounce. There's a super chat here from Genevieve. Thanks for the donation there. That's an interesting question. From a preparedness perspective, would you suggest staying in a heavily wooded and mountainous area or moving to a sparsely wooded area where you have family and a community? Well, it depends on so many factors. I tend to think that if you can avoid being in the interior of a country, then please avoid that. I know it goes against what many people believe in, but it is a huge advantage to be able to cross the border. If things go sideways and certain laws are implemented that you don't like, you can move if you live not if you live by the sea or by a border next not so far from border, you can get away from that place. But family and community is immensely important. um, I don't know, heavily wooded and mountainous, it sounds cold. Where I come from, that would be, a harsh environment most of the year. So yeah. Let's see here. Um, yeah, I realize that's different in the US perhaps. I wouldn't know, but yeah, most people don't live in the USA actually. um, yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, so we talked about the outdoors and the evangelists, that they need to stop, because I'm getting sick and tired of it. Okay, and I'll tell you what. I'll tell you one thing. There is one thing you can thank the evangelists for. There's one thing you can thank them for. I won't be, in general, I will not be reaching out to the so-called prepper community. I will not do that. And you know why? Because the evangelists won't leave me in peace. And there are 20 of those per dozen in the prepping community, I have discovered. And I don't because of that, I don't really feel welcome, and I feel it's just a very stressful environment. So why would I do that? Why would I reach out? Why would I consider myself part of that community when there is only disrespect from those people? And it's like every day, every time I make a video, every time I do a live stream. I've seen it here now as well. So, I mean, a lots of people want me to make more prepper-oriented videos. Well, you can thank those people, the evangelists, those people. You can thank them for that. You know. But anyway, um, let's see here. Yeah, I am aware that those bushwriter, those over project are often compensating for something. I suspect that it is like that with a lot of people who, uh, for instance, people seem to be obsessed with condemning those who are gay. That's a good example actually. Um, because most people are like, why would I care? It's why it's not, it doesn't affect me and doesn't harm anyone. Why would I care? So those who seem to be obsessed with that and why it's so wrong and all that, I suspect they are secretly having some some urges that they don't like themselves, So um, that's okay, Nicholas. Um, by the way, those messages where you mix up large letters, small letters, they are quite kind of, just telling you, difficult to read. Um, but yeah. So, things and stuff. Yeah. Well, in general, I would say that we should try our best to be students. By that I mean we should study. We should, there's this term, do your own research. I don't, you know what? I don't like, I said it myself, but I don't like that phrase because people seem to think that it is, do your own research is the same as spending an hour or two or less, or less on the internet reading articles that are fed to you by Google, and Google will feed you. I'm sure you know this. I hope you know this. Will feed you articles, well, websites that fit you based on what you have searched for previously. And I know there's a bias on Google, but still, you don't get challenged as much, and that's much different. That's very different from doing research. Doing research means that you need to put your perceptions, opinions, feelings, all those things aside. You need to get rid of all that before you start doing research. And when you do research, you must be able to separate between opinions and facts. And facts are things that have been proven. Opinions or theories are that they don't necessarily, they haven't been proven. Okay, so that's doing research, and it's really hard, and we should do our own research. But most people who do that, they don't do research. They are searching for what's the word, bias confirmation, things that confirm what they already want to be true, you know? So that's another thing, yeah, that we should try to keep in mind. I think okay, let's see here. Let's see here. I'm just reading the comments here now. Yeah, Google is creating an echo chamber actually. And so is, of course, other social media platforms. I think it, and I will say this, it's much, that effect is much stronger if you're on the left side, politically speaking, if I can say that, or if you're pro state, pro, no, not that, not pro state, pro, if you support the system, the system, because there is a bias on these websites. Take Facebook, for instance. Bias towards, in the US, you call them liberals. Actually, liberals is something very different here in Europe. It's almost the exact opposite. But um, so for someone like me, you could say I'm a conservative, and I get challenged a lot on social media because social media is quite leftist. I think we all know this. Um, and that's in a way it's a good thing, but it's also quite it shows us that the people on the left, they are not challenged, and you can see that, you can see how they react when they get some resistance, when people fight back, and they behave like little children. So yeah, you know how this works. But there certainly are echo chambers for all groups out there. And let's see here. Um, uh, okay. Yeah, you know what? The way I see it, both the left and the right in the USA are liberals. Uh, if I use the European meaning of that word, the USA is an extremely liberal country, and of course I don't like that, but it, it's not up to me to decide. Uh, so Norway is a lot more conservative, I would say. I know it goes against what people say mostly, but um, there are many examples of that. Yeah. So let's see here. Yeah. Uh, Google, no, sorry. YouTube is hiding a comment here. I'll show, but I'll show it to you. Let's see here. Let's see if we can find it. Hoodie weirdo. Yeah, I think you are weirdo. I'm ready to MUG someone in the forest. FUYCK. This world and FKU stupid Nordic boomer. Just wanted to tell ya YA before IMA. Do something crazy. Well, that's nice. Please get some help. So, yeah, but just um, and here's another one. Throw that heathen into the bog. Um, yeah, I know. Genevieve says that's very nice of you, David. Throw that heathen into the bog. Um, Genevieve says most articles in the US talks about how liberal Norway is and contributing all of its success to that. Well, really? Yeah, I know, but well, what about Norwegian abortion laws? I'm not getting into that topic, but if Norway is so liberal, why do you have states in the US with insanely liberal or inhuman abortion laws? Why? I mean, but there are many examples of that. No, Michael, there is no mandate, never was in Norway. Um, no, you can't buy books directly from me. You'll have to buy from a bookstore or order online in your country. Yeah, well, there are talks about food shortages here, but no, actually, not food shortage so much, but rather that we will not get, maybe we won't get to choose from as many food sources. No, food, not sources, but the place where you buy the food, where the stores buy the food. What's that called? Yeah, it's. But I don't think we will have food shortage in Norway. But some people would say that if you can't buy whatever you want in the store at any time, then you have a food shortage. I don't call that a food shortage, actually, um, but some people do. Uh, let's see here. Um, let's see here. Okay. Yeah, let me. Why are you up early? Me? Well, this what's this? Uh, I want to say this as well. Now, there is a difference in mentality from nation to nation. And when you travel, you learn a lot. Well, everyone should travel. I know it's been difficult for the last 2 years, but when you travel, it humbles you, you know? So, what I've learned through my travels is that, well, I've become more humble towards other people, I guess. And also, I have been better at seeing my own culture and understanding my own culture. And what I can tell you is that, well, there are lots of people from the USA here. The USA people are very emotional. I mean, that's my impression compared to Norway. Well, I guess we all have the same emotions, but what I'm talking about, how you show emotions. In Norway, it's not. In Norway, it's considered a bit childish to show that much emotion, and you could say that's not a good thing because we bottle things up, and all that. But the Nordic mentality is that you shouldn't show emotions too much. And we tend to, and I have to tell you this, we tend to look down upon people who can't control their emotions. Now, we get a clash of cultures here when you see people from typically North Africa and the Middle East. Yes, I know I'll get lots of comments now, but I'll get to that. When they come here, they come from a culture where it's the opposite. They are showing a lot of emotions. And when you, and especially, and I've noticed this in those cultures, it is not considered childish and stupid to become very angry. I've noticed that, and they scream and shout and all that. Now, if you do that for a Norwegian, it means that you can't control yourself. That's not a good thing. Now, when I've said that, I need to clarify, we do not have an invasion in Norway. Some people think that we do. We don't. And we're not Sweden, you know. So there's a difference there. But Norway is still quite, and typically people on the left in Norway, they don't like this. But the fact is that in most parts of Norway, it's we are ethnically quite what's the word, Nordic. Our culture is our our Northern European, no, Nordic is a better word. That's what we are, and we're not really changing. I would say we are not changing because of immigration. So that means that from what I have observed is that this culture that we have here is so dominant that it makes it easier for good people from other countries to get integrated into our culture and our way of life. We don't have those problems that they do in Sweden. Yeah, I'm sure there are cases, but we don't. We have an expression actually. It's called svenske tillstånder. We say that, and that means Swedish conditions, and we don't want to have that, and we don't have that. Olivia, thanks for the donation, and you're saying that probably getting a country house soon with some land. That's awesome. Marcy Wood, thanks for the donation. Let's see here. Oh, Jimbus Maximus, the Viking disease, the hand disease. Yeah, I think actually I have it as well. I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, you can see this on actually. Can you see that? That tendon is getting too short. But it's very easy to operate on. And it's not too bad for me. I can still do this. But if it gets a lot worse, I will have to do it. But the biggest issue I have with that is that then I would not be able to lift weights for a long time. Chris Carlson, welcome as a member to the channel. Yeah, I know it hurts. I heard it. It hurts. So let's see here what we can see. Well, you're welcome, Chris. Skip weights for a bit and do cardio. No. What are some of your lifting records? My lifting records are public because they were done in meets. So I have 320 kilos in the squat, 220 kilos in bench press, and 320 kilos in the deadlift. So it's easy to remember: 320, 220, 320. So let's see here. Again, food shortage. No, well, there are talks about it, absolutely, but we haven't seen it yet. Publishing through the Daily Wire in America, I think, Marcy, I think that would not be the right fit. They are very politically charged, and I don't want to. That's not what I want from my books, you know. Um, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that guy, the little guy who talks a lot fast, I've seen several times he says about himself he's a conservative Jew. Um, Maybe I don't know if he has anything to do with things there, but that would not be a good fit for my books. Uh, how tall I am? I was 180 centimeters, um, and now I'm 179. So I've shrunk a centimeter. Funny questions here. Smoked? No, I don't smoke. I never have. Why would I do that? No. Um, Marcy, well, thanks a lot for the donation. No, Gun Cotton 1, that's in a meat that's powerlifting, drug free, IPF meat. So it's uh, it shouldn't be compared with someone non-tested lifting something in a gym. No, it's we're talking about a proper meat. Uh, so yeah, powerlifting. Okay. Um, yeah, I don't know Daily Wire so much. It's I don't know, but they are quite politically charged. But that's up to my agent. It's not. I can't do everything, so my agent needs to find the right publisher. Okay. Uh, yeah, lifting is very much a mental sport. Powerlifting is extremely. It's more the mental part is more important than the physical part. Okay. Now I've been talking for more than half an hour, so you'll have to, if you're joining now, you'll have to scroll back. I can't start over now. Um, yeah, but that Haftor Björnsson, is that the guy who is a lot on social media, and he was in Game of Thrones or something? The Mountain, that's his nickname, isn't it? If we're talking about him, um, I don't like to speculate, you know, but let's just say that anyone who hasn't entered a proper drug tested competition, their lifts, personal bests mean nothing to me, because it's pretty much up to your wallet how much you can lift, if you don't have any morals, any limits, anything like that to limit your intake of illegal stuff. Um, yeah. Now let's see here. Colleen, yeah, I know. I wish the whole. I was maybe a little bit naive because I thought I could talk about, you know, Norse heathenry, if we can call it that. It's not a good name, but anyway, apparently I can't without getting all these hecklers. uh, yeah, well, Trevor, if these people, when if they say they are using, the those substances, um, then of course I think they are. If they're saying they are, then I would take their word for it. But I will disagree in a way. It's not stigmatized in that sport, if you can call strongman a sport at all. But it's absolutely stigmatized in drug tested sports, like in the Olympics. You know, of course it is. Um, and there is a reason. Let me just tell you now, since you're asking. Now, some people say, well, why people are cheating? Yes, they are, but not everyone. But why can't we instead just say that, well, no, we will not be testing, so it's up to you what you do, That's not a wise thing to say because people need to understand there is a lot of money in this. Now, when you involve that amount of money, you need to have limits. That's to protect the health of the athlete. If you want to know what happens when you don't have limits, you can look at what happened in the Eastern Germany during the Cold War. They were practically, when it comes to the women, they were turning them into men, and they left a trail of tragic um, stories. People, the athlete, they got destroyed inside because of this. Um, so we need to have limits. There are. I do not accept. I know this goes against what many people seem to believe in, but these days, but I think it's a horrible idea to let this loose and let people do what they want when it comes to these substances, because it's something, and we know this from history. People can't control it, and it's so addictive, so addictive. So it's you know I by the way, I hate when these people, these strongman people, they claim to do this and that in 500 kilos in the deadlift and so on. And when you look at the lift, it's first of all, it's not tested. They are not tested. And secondly, they use straps, hand straps. That's not a proper deadlift. The deadlifts that I missed, I always missed them because of my hands, because that's, for many people, I would say most people, the weakest link. But anyway, oh, I'm sorry. Now we're getting into the whole what's a woman and all that. But that's I'm talking about Eastern Germany during the Cold War. You know, um, and someone asked a bit up here in the chat. Someone asked about camping trips? Any plans for camping trips? Um, yes, if you go to my other channels, you will find my camping trips videos there. And I have one coming up tomorrow. That will be quite a long video, actually, which means many people won't watch it, but that's okay, you know. So that's tomorrow on the main channel. Well, I say tomorrow. This is Friday morning here in Norway. So on Saturday. No, the Viking settlements in Canada. This is a funny one. I'm sorry. The laptop is on my lap actually. In North America, lots of people seem to question whether the Vikings had settlements in North America, in Canada. You know, it's nobody is debating that anymore, and it's been many years since that was proven by archaeological finds, and it's not a myth at all. So that's yeah, I don't know. It's quite. We're talking about doing your own research and the difference between theories and opinions and facts, and facts being something that can be and have been proven. Uh, Norse is the right word, I guess. Norse settlements in Viking Age Norse settlements in Canada is a fact. So there is no question about that. There is, of course, a question about how far and did they go, how far south did they go, and so on. And at this point, we probably don't know, but we will know more about this as time goes by and they dig more in the ground, you know. How is the woods? Are they still logging? Yes, thank you for asking. I will answer that, you know, because I found something out the other day. I was wondering about this, you know, why. One thing is the logging companies that cut down the forests, which is bad, you know, it's really bad. But why is it that people, not companies, but people cut down the trees on their properties? Why? Because I have observed that people seem to go crazy. They cut down the trees in their garden. They cut down the trees growing on their land. Why do they do that? And maybe maybe I was a bit stupid, but then I read an interview in the local newspaper here, and with this guy who said that I've cut down the tree here so that I can get some more firewood because we can't pay the electricity bills. Then it makes sense because the price of electricity here has, I don't know, doubled, tripled in a few months. It's just insane. And this started when our politicians, they are putting cables. They put one over to England, and the other ones are going over to the border to Sweden, so to the EU. and they are exporting our power, and we have to pay. It's like supply and demand and all that. And we used to have the electricity for ourselves. Now we have to compete with the European market. We have to compete in the European market, which makes the electricity a lot more expensive. So people are having problems paying the electricity bills, and apparently that's why they cut down the trees so that they can have some firewood this fall and winter. I don't know, and we also have, of course, people who just hate trees, but seems to make sense to me, and it's funny how this is being done, the whole laying those cables over to England and into the EU. It's all about green energy and the environment. I think that's a lie. And now you see one of the consequences is that they are cutting down all the trees. Last time I checked, it's good for the environment to have trees, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe it's good for the environment to cut down all the trees and put concrete, cover and the entire planet in concrete, and we can have wind turbines there and robotic trees creating oxygen or something like that. Maybe that's what they want. I don't know. So, if you look at where I live, I've mentioned before we bought quite a lot of land around us, and we are not cutting down trees. So we have become this little island of woodland in a sea of tarmac and lawns and houses and roads, which is a little bit sad, Let's see here. I'm reading the comments here. Mark says, don't cut nature down. Exactly. Yeah, so we're seeing lots of problem because of the deforestation. One of those problems being that the animals living in the forest have to move, and they are finding it difficult to find places where they can sustain themselves. One example is the birds, the little birds, and what happens when they cut down the woods is that there is less food for the insects that need pollen, right? And people seem to think that, well, pollen comes from the flowers, but if you look at trees, they have pollen too, and a lot of it. So when those insects are gone, then there is no food for the birds, are there? The birds eating the insects. So yeah, we have a lot of birds here, and you can, because we feed the little birds as well, and they have this little woodland here, and that's nice. But there are a lot more birds here on our property than on the properties around us, because there are hardly any trees around us. Well, there are trees, but there are no woodland, you know. So yeah, well, actually, Greta Thunberg, I called her out a long time ago, but so I don't disagree. I think, but she was young back then, and I don't know. She's not a child anymore, but yeah. You think Elon Musk will buy Norway and fill it with Vikings again? Yeah, that one is funny, isn't it? Now, and you don't have to be a fan of Elon Musk to think it's funny. It is funny. And I saw this meme. I call it meme to annoy my kids, but anyway, you know what I mean. Um, and the guy pointing at a poster or something like that. Well, if you don't like social media, um, create your own platform. And then you had on the other other frame there, you had they had put Elon Musk's head on on the guy there, and it's yeah, just uh, erased create, and if you don't like social media, own your own platform, something like that. It you know so it's yeah, I know he's not doing that to troll, simply to troll the the heroes of Twitter, but but that's a side effect of it, and I must admit it's really funny. Yeah. So yeah, false prophets and all that. I'm just saying that that one thing, buying Twitter, is funny. It is. I mean, you must admit it is. Uh, yeah. So yeah, I know. There are lots of problems, and I said many times I'm not a fan of Elon Musk. A lot of things, his projects and so on, are. I have a lot of problems with Elon Musk, So, but I'm just pinpointing that one thing, buying Twitter. I thought that was cool, and that's my opinion. Forever Sci-Fi says that this is a good one. He's not the hero we need, but the troll we deserve. Yeah, yeah. Um, so now I'm not an expert on the technical things concerning these platforms, but I saw that he wanted to have an open code. And I believe that means that it becomes more transparent. And here's what I suspect: I suspect that Twitter has been making it easier for people on the political left, the hard left, intolerant hard left, to grow a large following, while they have suppressed people on the right. And now, if they're not too busy now rewriting the code before it becomes publicly available, and we will be able to see that. And also, as Jimbus Maximus writes here, we will be able to see what they are censoring. Um, okay. Will Angela, you asked, will Elon invite Trump back? Don't even get started. Well, I'm not a big fan of Trump, but it's like he, I, yeah, no, I would have voted for Trump because the alternative was a lot worse. But it's he's so obnoxious, but he's funny as well. I must admit he is funny. Um, and he has his own platform now. Uh, and I don't know if he will come back to Twitter. I don't know. But some of the things he wrote on Twitter was I don't know if he wrote it or if he has this team of strat- strategists um, and all that. Why I don't like Trump? Well, he's so obnoxious, and some of the things he's been saying are not only stupid but very disrespectful. Uh, he's not uh, he's not a nice guy, you know. Um, but I'm not. Luckily, I'm not having to. I don't have to make that choice because he's not in Norway, is he? Mm. So um, no, I don't know. I understand. I don't know Trump. I know. Uh, Trump speaks like normal man with friends. Well, none of my friends speak like that. I can tell you. Uh, no, and that's a problem. Don't get me wrong here. I said I would have. Oh, you got me there. Britain has facts, not feelings, Bjorn. No, I'm telling you, I wouldn't have voted. I would have voted for him because the alternative was far worse. Um, and but I would say that some of the things he's been saying is wrong, and I'm talking especially about his understanding of nature and climate as well. It's plain stupid, some of the things he's been saying. And I know he's saying a lot of what he's saying just to please the crowd, but really these topics are much too important to, well, they're just too important for jokes, if I can put it that way. Uh, so yeah, I think Ursus here, I agree. I think the problem with Trump running for president, if he will, is that he is too old. That's the main problem. Um, and there are lots of other people who could do a better job, I believe. Um, and you really shouldn't have presidents that old. And the funny thing is, I heard that this Biden is running. Biden said that he was running for president again. Uh, I don't know. Should there be an upper age limit? I don't know, but quite clearly, Biden is not really up for the job. I mean, it's painfully obvious, right? So Is Bernie Sanders running again? Could you try to have someone running who is below 60 years, maybe? Just a suggestion here from Norway, you know. Um, yeah, that's a troll patroller. That's a good point. Will Biden be able to run again? You know. So many. Yeah, DeSantis, he is work better. Yeah, I agree. But again, it's not for me to say because I'm not American. So, but yeah, DeSantis seems to be, he's well articulated, he's well educated, seems very intelligent. Um, but again, it's not for me to decide. So, um, and you have this Rand Paul, but I think he's. Am I wrong here if I say he's more like a libertarian? I I don't know. Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Biden has lasted this long as well. Yeah. Um, but again, I don't know American politics so well. So yeah. What's wrong with libertarian? I didn't say it was wrong. I just said that I heard he's more of a libertarian. I don't know. Now there is a lot of wrong things that are wrong with libertarianism. I'm not one. Not going to get into that now. Um, okay. Screaming Skull Saloon says Rand Paul does sort of align more with libertarian. Okay, his dad. Okay, there of course, yeah. There's Rand Paul and Ron Paul, and Ron Paul is a registered libertarian. Okay. Uh, okay. Yeah, DeSantis is economic libertarian, but culturally more conservative. Yeah, I think that would be more like where I am maybe. Um, but these terms, it's very different in Norway. We are not as liberal as Americans. Uh, Berserking in 2019 is here. That's awesome. Let's see her. Yeah. Um, yeah, lots of people believe that Norway is liberal. We are not. Um, well, in some way, you could say that we are. I've even heard, yeah, I see that now. I've even heard, especially American politicians, saying that Norway is a socialist country. That's not true. So, yeah, let's see here. Yeah, okay, but you know what? I'm going to have to end the live stream now. We are at above 1 hour. So people who are listening, you know, will probably have written in the comments already their opinion about these topics. We talked about lots of things in this live stream. So that's awesome. Okay. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.